we can see that the motor is connected through these two wires, black and red, and if we follow these wires, we find that they go to this connector here, probably. So the black and the red on pin 1 and 2. And if we look at this board, 1 and 2 are these two terminals here. And if we follow the tracks, we see that we find this capacitor. So this one is in parallel to the DC motor. So we find also this 10 ohms resistor and this inductor, which is in series with the one terminal here. And we find also that these two transistors here have their base connected together here. And we have also their emitters which are connected together. So this is obviously a push-pull configuration for the motor drive. So the power supply are on the collectors here. So we have this one with probably a decoupling capacitor here, and the other one is here. So it is strange that there is only one dissipator for only one transistor and not the second one. So maybe one can dissipate more power than the other one. So this is obviously for the control loop anyway. So we still have, so this is for the motor control, and after we have the error amplifier somewhere, this one or this one. We check with the schematic, but this should not be too complicated. I made a mistake while testing this device. I have applied a voltage much more than expected on the secondary of the transformer. So this resistor has burnt. There was a magic smoke here. You can see it is totally destroyed. And the filter capacitor is dead also. It is short-circuited. This capacitor here. So I change it, and I hope there is no major damages on this board. So I don't know the value of this capacitor. There is only a color code, maybe 47 microfarad or something, yellow, violet and blue. So I don't have the exact type, but I will change for another one. I will test the other one also, maybe. The other one seems okay. I found a replacement, 33 microfarad. Should do the job. I will check if the 12 ohm resistor is still alive. 14 ohms. It had changed a little bit, but I think it should be okay. So I use the function generator for the power supply here. One output, and I use my HP amplifier, which is here. So actually the gain was in 10 position instead of 1, so the output power supply was too high, maybe 3 or 4 times the nominal value. So let's see. I will turn on the function generator. We make a measurement. On the primary side of the transformer first. So I have 88 volt. So I will increase a little bit the voltage in order to be close to 115, 108. Okay. So the current generated by my amplifier is 0.5 amp RMS, something like that, and the voltage 10 volt RMS. So the power consumption is something like 5 watts. So actually I have reproduced more or less the schematics of this board. So this board is a servo loop to control one of the position of this indicator. There are two identical boards in this device. Roughly, we have two inputs on this board. One is a reference AC voltage, which comes from one secondary of the transformer here, and the other input is the signal itself. So the goal of this thing is to have a 0 volt, this is what I supposed, at the output here. So this input should come from the second board, and this should be the difference between the input signal and the signal which comes from the resolver, which is linked to this needle here. So there is a synchronous detection made by this transistor here. So at the output here we have a DC signal which depends on the phase between this input and the reference voltage. If this signal is in phase, you will have a positive voltage. If it is in opposition phase, you will have negative signal. And this should drive the motor. But according to the schematics, this thing is strange because we have some AC coupling here. So I think something is missing in this schematics. So I'm trying to visualize some signals in order to understand better this thing. Probably one resistor is missing from point to point. I try to reproduce the board. It is not easy. Do some kind of circuit, but sometimes one track is missing. So first we will check the power supply. So we should have across this capacitor. So we have here minus 12 volt. So actually this should be plus 12 volt. So the ground is on the left here. So we have plus 10, plus 12, minus 12 probably. But with the conformal coating it is difficult to make measurement. Minus 8.5. Yeah, because we have 100 ohms here. So this is minus 8.5. Plus 12 volt here. We can check the reference input here. So we connect this to the ground. I'm looking for a ground signal, an accessible ground signal. Yes, we have this capacitor here, which is connected to the ground. Okay, so the reference signal is at pin number 9 of the connector. So pin number 9 is this one. Okay, so we have a signal which comes from the transformer. And normally pin 11 is the input. Here we have nothing. What I can do is to disconnect the wire connected to this terminal, and I have a second output of my function generator. So I will apply a signal here with a variable phase, with an adjustable phase, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so something happened. And the current has increased. Check the power supply because we don't want to destroy the board again. One 108 volt RMS, it's okay. The second input, actually, the generator is connected through the amplifier, so I will left open the ground. This thing, so I can change the phase. Try to make a zoom out in order to see also the function generator, maybe. Okay, so I will change the phase of the second input. Okay, we change the amplitude, it was a bit 1 volt RMS. Okay. But of course, as there is no feedback, we have in open loop configuration. But anyway, we can cover the entire range of the display. It is a bit noisy. Because actually the default, the drawback of this system is that we must apply a current in the motor in order to keep a given position, because actually you have a return spring and the motor should apply a torque in order to keep the position. It is not the case where the motor is able to drive in one direction or another one. In this case, when the motor stops, it is not necessary to maintain a current in the motor. Here, due to the return spring, the motor is always activated. This is why there is one dissipator only in this transistor, because actually there will be always a positive current flowing here in order to drive the motor. And this transistor actually is never used, more or less, it will be always open. Because we can measure the output current through this resistor here. And we connect the multimeter, so this resistor is in series with this one here. It is a 10 ohms resistor just here. And we have a voltage of 0.5 volt, 0.4 volt. So there is a current of 40 milliamp, which will be constantly applied to the motor. So we can check the signal at this point, for example. Pin 1 of U2. You have these two diodes here. This should be this point. Okay, so you can see if I change the phase, Okay, so there is a change on the position. And here the DC voltage normally is close to 0. And this output, because when the loop is closed, normally we should have 0 volt here. So you have minus 0.4 volt or something like that. So we can see what we have at the output of this amplifier, pin 1 of U3. This should be this signal. Okay, we have a DC signal, approximately 4 volts. So here we have 4 volt DC. And let's see what we have at pin 4. It is strange because we have an AC coupling here at pin 4. We have 0 volt, so maybe there is a mistake in my schematic here. Because in this representation, pin 4 is only connected to a resistor, so I don't know why I have placed the capacitor to this line here. I will check directly. So this is this resistor here, so it is connected effectively to the input, but input is connected to nothing else, so I think I made a mistake here first. So we need to remove this this capacitor first. Okay, so this makes sense. So this is just an amplifier with a low pass filter. So I don't understand the goal of this resistor, because as we have 0 volt here, so maybe there is also another mistake here at pin 3. Yeah, this resistor seems connected to the ground. This is 10K. I will test with the continuity tester. It is a useful tool when you do reverse engineering. The continuity tester is the main tool actually. So pin number 3. So this guy here should be connected to the ground. Okay. So we have a 10K resistor which is connected effectively here. So the feedback is this resistor here. This resistor is very high. It's 560 kilo ohms. Okay, so we have a feedback of 560 kilo ohm, and this guy, this one, number 3. Okay, this one is 56 kilo ohm. So you have a gain of minus 10 here. Okay, so we can check. We have 4 volt. Yes, it is what we have. Okay, we have a 0. It should be negative. I will check again this to see if it is consistent. I will apply the power supply again. We have to modify the phase. Yes, but I need to place the board. Okay, so let's measure first the voltage, the output of this op amp here. So here we have something like that. But we have a filtering. This will be difficult. We will measure the mean value. We have a minus 1.4 volts. And the output of this amplifier. We have 7 volts. Okay. I don't have the calculated gain, but okay. So then this signal is applied to a comparator here. So this is the word. So we check what we have at pin 9 of U3. U3 pin 9. We have the 75 kilo ohms. Okay, so we have the negative voltage, minus 8 volt here. I think something is missing. Maybe your resistor is missing between. No, because it is a comparator here. I don't understand. Something is missing from this point or this point. You can check the voltage, for example, the output of this guy here, pin 6 of U1. You have 10 volts here. So here we have plus 10 volts. So this diode is reverse biased, so normally we'll check if something is missing here. There is nothing else connected in between. So there is something strange here. You can check the voltage here when the phase is changed. It changes a little bit, but not really. So there is something else should be connected to this amplifier. So we check the voltage at pin. Normally should be 0 every time. So I think something is missing here. Also we can check the voltage at pin 2 of this one, because normally here we have only a divider, a voltage divider, so we should have a constant DC voltage here. This is weird also. Yeah, this voltage is more or less constant, so it is possible. So here you have minus 5 volt or something like that. Minus 6.6. Okay, so it is normal that we have a positive voltage as the output here. So something is missing from this point maybe to this output or something like that in order to close the loop. Because normally the result of this amplifier here should activate the motor in one direction or in another one. So probably a resistor is missing or something. I will check directly on the board. So we have U2, this one, and we have negative input is pin 7. So we have U2 pin 7. This is this one. So pin 7, according to my diagram here, pin 7 is connected to 3 resistors. This one, and this one, which correspond. Ah yes, one resistor is missing. Okay. So pin 7 is connected. So this is this line. So we have one resistor connected to CR8. This is this one here. Okay. We have another resistor connected to the output. So this is the feedback. And this one is missing. One resistor here, which is 46K or 68. I don't see. I need a magnifier or something. Doesn't matter. Maybe 66K here, which is connected to the output of U2. Okay, that makes sense. So you have a resistor here. Okay, so this is the main. Okay, so this is the main circuit actually. So the input voltage is rectified according to this reference. So you have here a DC voltage which depends on the position of the, which depends on the relative phase between this one and this one, but when this system is locked, we'll have the 0 volt here. So this goes to this to the amplifier to drive the motor, and we have this system maybe in case of error. So this system is something which is not directly used for the regulation, but something maybe in case of problems it returns, because we have so this is a comparator, but I don't understand this coupling capacitor also here, because this will generate a pulse, but maybe something is missing also here, because this voltage is filtered here and is compared to 0 volt, and more or less there is an hysteresis here. But first it is added with a bias, so it is shifted due to this voltage divider, and this is compared to the ground. I think something is missing here, maybe a resistor between this point and this point. We'll see pin 9 of U3. Pin 9 of U3, this one. So we have one capacitor and one resistor here. Okay, so we have this resistor here. You have this resistor connected to the output, and after it is difficult to see because of the black stamp here. It is maybe why I missed something, maybe. And this is connected to this capacitor, which is I don't see the value. Yes, it is 1 microfarad. Yes, it's a large capacitor. So we can check what happened to this line when the phase changes. Let's take a look on this signal here at this point. This is this is going to be more or less constant. I think it changes because the negative power supply, I think, changes here. So I will check the negative power supply to be sure. It's the opposite side of this resistor. Okay, so we have minus 12 or something. Yes, okay, so depending on the consumption of the negative rail. Okay, so this seems normal. Yes, but pin 9 should change also. So if pin 9 is constant, so pin 9 of U3, see that line. Yeah, so actually this line never changed. It is always constant. I mean in the output of the comparator. So I don't know. I will make a new test. So this line, this line is at low level. Okay, so that means that this voltage is below ground. Sorry, negative. This voltage is positive here. So this will change when this voltage becomes too negative. But I didn't find here, I don't know the condition to get this voltage negative. Maybe I need to increase the input voltage. Try to increase the voltage of the reference. I have a 3 volt RMS at the input here. I will check the output of the comparator. Okay, we have a change here. Okay, so we can see now at pin at this point. Okay, we can see I will put the oscilloscope in AC mode and will make a trigger, a normal trigger. Maybe on the other direction. Okay, so we have something here. probably negative falling edge. Okay. So effectively we have an AC coupling at this point, so this permits to have here a negative pulse like that. Okay, so this will permit maybe in case of problem to recover to zero, to the default state, as we are in this in off position immediately by placing pulse. So this diode will be conductive to the minus rail, and this will force the motor in the opposite direction to go to zero, to the off position. So this is clear for me. I will do the reverse engineering of this board here, intermediate board. So this board normally should provide this error voltage here at the input, which would be the difference between the sensor input and the voltage generated by the resolver here. I think there is a comparator which compares the two indications, left and right, and after that the reverse engineering will be complete for this instrument, and we can make some tests using sensors like I did with the first flaps indicator. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.